Amen.
All right, so we want to see. I thought maybe you have done already. My name is Nee Mama, and I'm going to be your guide for the rest of the trip whilst you are here.
Okay.
We normally say "Ago," and the response is "Amen." Ago.
Amen.
All right, so now I can talk. All right, so today we're doing the Accra City tour. The main highlight for our tour is the Dubois Center and also the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. And then we'll do a little bit of a drive through the city to Jamestown and also to lunch at Asmera, which is a buffet local restaurant. When it comes to food, most of the places that will be taking you, the food are 100% hygienic, they are well prepared, and we trust that source. If you decide to do any street food, please make sure that the food you are buying is hot from the fire. Don't buy street food that is cold or they just serving it from something. Make sure it's something that is hot. I can eat street food when it's even cold. Even when you take it from the fridge, I can still eat it. But your system is different. We've built our immune system to eat certain things when it's even cold. So please, if you want to try any street food, let's make sure it's a bit warm or hot before you do that. When it comes to water, we have water in here. You may see some of us drinking water from a plastic bag, like a sachet. We take the edge and then we drink. Yes, it's also clean water, but you are here for a very short time. You may see some Europeans or some Americans or some people who are foreigners who are drinking it. They've been here for like 6 or a year, 6 months or 1 year. So they are very good with their system. They know how to drink those water. Try as much as possible to grab a bottle of water and drink. And at this time of the year, it's Harmattan. Harmattan is like a dry, humid situation. So you'll be a little bit dehydrated more. Try as much as possible to also drink more water, because that will dehydrate your system for you. And I know you guys will be going out mostly at night, and then you'll be coming home very late in the morning. If you come back, please try as much as possible to sleep, because over here there's not much stress, because you are not working, so there's not much stress. You are just having fun. So try as much as possible to also have some to relax. And again, when it comes to money, our money goes to $1. We're going to change. I know. Again, when it comes to dressing at this time, I know you are all having fun, but we are not going anywhere that is more traditional, where the dresses will change. So everything casual is okay, but don't do over casual, because one, you are in a different environment. Our children are also learning from whatever you bring in here. When you leave some of your cultures with us. We want you to leave a good culture with us, so that our children can also take over from what you brought in. We also greet a lot, so you might see people greeting you all the time. They may even want to shake your hand. It's normal. When somebody wants to greet you and shake hands with you, it's normal. Again, we also call people with their names, especially if the person is an elderly person. So I've seen some 2 elderly people on the bus. If I call you auntie, please, it's not disrespect. It's a form of respect. Because so far as the person is older than you, and you call the person auntie or uncle, they feel revered. If you even call the person grandpa, they don't care, or grandma, they don't care, because they know that they are in that position to be called that. So if somebody calls you auntie, don't be offended. Even if the person is your age mate, or you see the person as somebody who is younger or at your age, please, the person calls you auntie, is normal. It calls you uncle, is normal. It doesn't mean that the person is trying to make you look aunties or maybe uncle. It's just giving you that respect that you deserve. That is why the person is calling you that. If you do this, you're waving. If you do this, you're calling somebody to come. So if you do this whilst you are somewhere, the person will come to you. Meanwhile, in your mind, you know you are waving. So for us, we wave this way, but not this way. So if you want to wave, remember that you are in Ghana. And again, we also use our right hand most often. We see using the left hand as a form of disrespect. So if I don't respect you, I throw my left hand on you. If I respect you, I'll use my right hand on you. So if you are even talking to someone, or the day maybe we go to the Nima market to do the health screening, and you try to talk to people with your left hand, they may feel a little bit offended or disrespected. And especially in that community also, they are Muslims. So that very day, when you go into that market, you should have something more covered, because it's mostly a Muslim community. So if we have ourselves more covered, I think they'll be fine. People will not look at us in a certain way. And this is now. I'll explain that when you come back.
Okay.
Or she will explain it to you.
So Ago, Akwaba, Medase. Okay. So welcome to the house and the residence of Dr. Dubois. This was his house he lived for only 2 years. It was a gift to him by Ghana's first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in the year 1961, when he was invited to come here edit a document called the Encyclopedia Africana, Dictionary of African Biography. Now, this document tells the histories about Africans, who we are, what we have, what we can use our resources to gain what we want. All descendants of Africa coming as one, uniting, fighting for our rights and our freedom. But whilst Dr. Dubois was coming, didn't come alone, came with a second wife, Mrs. Shirley Graham. Mrs. Shirley lived longer in this house than Dr. Dubois himself. She lived up to 5 years. During the death and the burial, she was still in this house till 1966. When Ghana's first president, Nkrumah, was overthrown by military government. Then it wasn't safe for her to live here any longer. The main reason was because when she came to Ghana, she became the personal advisor to the president. So when he was overthrown, they wanted some personal information from her, but she wasn't willing to give. Her life in this house wasn't that safe. She even went under house arrest for like 3 to 4 months. But with the help of the brother and the lawyer, she had the chance to travel out. One may ask, who is Dr. Dubois himself? He was a Pan-African leader, a civil rights activist, a communist, a man who fought for blacks and Africans' freedom as a whole. He was a socialist, a writer, an editor, a publisher, and a teacher as well. Now we have 6 rooms in this house, and I'll be taking you through all the 6 rooms. Please feel free to take pictures and ask questions in case you have one. We are now in the bedroom of Dr. Dubois, the same place he died. He died right in this room on the 27th August 1963. Guess what? It was the day before the March on Washington held by Martin Luther King Jr. Now, when Dr. Dubois came to Ghana, right here, received doctors of letters from the University of Ghana, Legon. That's the robe he wore when he was being honored by the university. Next to it, we have the robe of him being the first black man to obtain PhD at Harvard University. That's at the age of 28 years. Other academic gowns as well. Because he believes in communism and China believes in communism, on his 91st birthday, Dr. Dubois received 4 gifts from China, of which 3 are still in existence. We have them in this room, but 1 is no more. So we have this embroidery right here. This describes how they see Dr. Dubois. We have as gray as old age, the cane leadership, fruits charity, the dear peace, and the scroll as wisdom. An old man full of wisdom was leading his people, giving all he had, was making peace among the world. Whilst we have the second gift to be that writing. Can anyone read for me? So translation in English says, a credit to colored races. You are a shining example, winning universal admiration, committed to world peace. We are riding the east wind, enjoying happy longevity. That's the saying in English. We have the third gift to be this walking stick right there. The fourth gift, as I said, is no more in existence. That's because on the 23rd February, which was his birthday, it was once celebrated in China as a holiday. So imagine yourselves coming from another country, whilst your birthday is celebrated in another country as a holiday. It shows who you truly are. Now, can anyone guess the age Dr. Dubois came to Ghana? I want 3 guesses at least.
36.
36. Second guess? Second guess?
54.
54. My last guess?
70.
70, okay. So actually, Dr. Dubois came to Ghana at an old age. Spent his last 2 years in this house. Died at the age of 95. So came here at the age of 93. Yeah. 93. We have the main reason Dr. Dubois traveled to Ghana at that old age. Please get closer. Just to come edit the Encyclopedia Africana, Dictionary of African Biography. At first, Dr. Dubois wanted to write an encyclopedia for the world. Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, wanted to write for all Africans. They met and discussed about it. But because he was a communist, his passport was seized for 6 years. When he gained his passport, he was already old. We learned he was supposed to complete 10 to 20 volumes of these books. But unfortunately, due to his 2 years stay in Ghana, due to health challenges, Dr. Dubois had the chance to complete these 3 volumes. That's volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And guess what? This book talks about histories of 8 African countries. Volume 1 talks about history of Ethiopia and Ghana. Volume 2 has Sierra Leone and Zaire. Volume 3 talks about South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, and Swaziland. Dr. Dubois has a message to you in this room. He says now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done, and not some future days nor future years. Tomorrow comes the harvest and the playtime. He's telling you if you have plans, if you have something doing, start now. Don't wait till you are old when you can't even lift a finger. Then you start to live in regrets. You plant today and harvest tomorrow. We have these 2 boxes to be his traveling bags, his packing bags. But I refer this to be his book bags because his books were traveled by sea. That's lined with a foam. In case any water should get in touch, it won't affect the books. Kindly please have a brief look around in this room, then we proceed to the next room. Please read. Office of the second wife, Mrs. Shirley Graham. As I said, she lived longer in this house than Dr. Dubois himself. She lived for 5 years. With Dr. Dubois and Mrs. Shirley Graham, they got married for 14 years. Had no kids. She had 2 kids from her first marriage. So Dr. Dubois adopted the younger one, David, and named him David Graham Dubois. Whilst they were getting married, Dr. Dubois was at the age of 83. Mrs. Shirley Graham was at the age of 54. So he was 29, older than her when they got married. So because this is Shirley's office, we've now dedicated this room to all female warriors, activists who helped in fighting for our rights and our freedom. We normally refer this room to be the ladies' room or the female room. We use this room to honor ladies. So we, the ladies, if you have any gentleman in this room that you don't want him here, you can please send him out, then we continue with the tour. You want to send anyone out? Okay. So because this is her office, we've now dedicated this room to all female warriors. And beside their pictures are some brief histories we have about them, of which you can please take pictures and read as well. Please feel free.
So he had no kids at all?
Pardon?
He had any kids?
With the first wife, they had 2 kids.
Right.
So that's the first wife, Mrs. Nina Goma. They got married for 54 years, had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The boy died only 18 months after birth due to diphtheria. The girl lived to the age of 60 years, died due to heart attack the very same year Dr. Dubois was preparing to come to Ghana. So he was sad he had to bury his only daughter before coming. Yolanda, she completed Fix University just like Dr. Dubois. The first wife was also a student of Dr. Dubois at Wilberforce University. So Dr. Dubois got married with a student. She died from stroke and depression due to the lost 18 months kid. Then a year after the death of the first wife, got married with the second wife. some of the books were written by Dr. Dubois himself. Now we have from this top shelf to the fifth one written by him. The last part was written by the second wife. While I was coming to Ghana, Dr. Dubois came along with the rest. But we have those two top shelves. They are of the same books, the book entitled In Battle for Peace. Now these books were present, he gifted out to visitors who paid him a visit whilst he was here in Ghana. So if he had been here earlier, if you'd have met him in this room, we'd have all gotten one each of these books. But unfortunately we didn't meet him, so we don't give it out. In all, we learned Dr. Dubois published 1,975 works in total. That's his writing, editing, publishment, article. Everything about his works was up to 1,975. We have a picture of him from when he was a little boy, young man till old age. And the picture we see on our top right is Dr. Dubois at the age of 4 years and not a girl. We also have original piece of furniture Dr. Dubois sat on right there. Now they have a saying that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. They claim we don't like reading. But Dr. Dubois was sitting right on this chair looking for what was hidden in these books. Now imagine the number of books he published and the number of books we have in this room. How many books did he read in all? How many have we read so far? Our truth, our histories are still in the books. Get them, find them, and spread them. But I have a little activities for us all. Wherever you are standing, please have a clearer and a closer look at the circular patterns in the curtains. What does it look like? A spider's web. Let's imagine this is a spider's web. What has that got to do with Dr. Dubois?
Web of knowledge.
Web of knowledge, something else.
History.
History, something else. The mysteries are in the books. Anything else? Just forget about the world. Forget about a spider even. Focus on Dr. Dubois, maybe something about him. Oh, okay. Do we know the initials of Dr. Dubois?
I said web. W-E-B.
You said the web. Oh, okay. So W-E-B Dubois. W-E-B Dubois, the initials of Dr. Dubois. Now W-E-B, when it's added, it's a spelling of a web, a spider's web. So that's it right. We're good?
So is that like the baseline of a lot of like the prints here?
Yes, please. Baseline of prints. And we have it for purchase as well, so just in case you want to get that.
Okay.
So you can please have a brief look around in this room, then we proceed to the next room. Since they are going, we wait on them. When they are out, then we... This hole we see leads to the kitchen. When food was prepared, it was sliced through this hole, then to the dining room. Now we have the walls of some civil rights leaders. How many of them do we know on the walls? Let's start with, do we know him? At the top. I'm sure when you were coming to Ghana, you made some research about Ghana, right? You didn't do it. So that's our first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. We have Martin Luther King. That's Patrice Lumumba, the first president of Congo. Jomo Kenyatta, he was also the first president of Kenya. Major civil rights activist. We have Obama, Garvey, Malcolm X, and Booker T. Washington. A message from Malcolm X. He says, I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it is for or against. I'm human being first and foremost. And as such, I'm for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole. Are we still fighting for right and justice? Are we doing things to benefit humanity, or we are doing things to benefit ourselves? If not ourselves, money, then power. If you don't have money and power, you won't gain justice. Are we on the right path? But we'll surely get there, right? There's no hope for the future. Okay. So please proceed. Ago. Okay, so this space was the living room of Dr. Dubois, of which we have original teacups and cabinets used by Dr. Dubois and the family. There we get to meet the whole family of Dr. Dubois right here. On our top, we have young Dr. Dubois himself. That's the first wife, Mrs. Nina Goma. The baby who died only 18 months after birth. The daughter who died at the age of 60 years. And that's the second wife, Mrs. Shirley Graham. Any questions so far? Please proceed in. Of which is now dedicated to all civil rights and Pan-African leaders. We have presidents and prime ministers who helped in fighting for our rights and our freedom. Most of them on the walls, I would say, were the people who gained their countries their independence. So they are the first president of the African continent. We are pleased going to have a brief discussion in this room, and your contributions are needed. Are we ready? Okay. So let's talk about the Pan-African leaders. The main motive of Pan-Africanism was that all descendants of Africa, we should all come as one to have a common goal. That goal is to unite, fight for our rights and our freedom. But the question here is, till date, are we united? If you have one, Gaddafi.
I would say we're not united because we grew a sense of looking out for ourselves and not others. So I feel like we're the race that's most divided. Every other race works together, and that's how they're able to get to the top. But with black people, we don't necessarily look out for another probably goes back to slavery. With the mindset, So it just has to be a mindset.
Okay. Anyone else?
Status. You know, some people feel like if they here, they can't, work with people who are here.
Okay. So status. Anyone else?
Bridging the communication gap.
Region?
The communication gap.
Okay, communication gap. Okay.
Yeah. We're all dispersed and don't know ways to communicate with each other, to work with each other.
To work with each other. Okay. Anyone else?
We don't know our history.
You don't know our history. So Gaddafi.
So my biggest theory about Gaddafi was he was creating the Afro Euro, which was the African gold coin that would transpan the whole continent of Africa. And Obama didn't like that, so
very cool. Okay. That's what they say. That's what they say. Yes, please. Always I have been uplifted by the thought that what I have done well will live long and justify my life, that what I have done ill or never finished can now be handed on to others for endless days to be finished while I rest. One thing alone I charge you, live and believe in life. Always human beings will live and progress to greater, broader and fuller life. The only possible death is to lose belief in this truth, simply because this greater ends come slowly, just because time is long. Now in this message, first and foremost, Dr. Dubois acknowledged himself by saying he did well. He later came down. He said, I did, but never finished. It should be handed on to others. Who are those others? The next generation. We are the next generation. But have we taught? Have we started? Where is our ending point? It's just like a baton race. Now the baton has been handed over to you. Are you going to sit and watch someone else take over victory? Or you are going to fight for yourself? Our forefathers fought with their blood, so that when it's our turn, there's no need for us to share any blood. But what are we fighting with? He came down, he says the only thing he's charging you to do is live and believe in life. Now, if you are living and you don't believe in life, what's the essence of your living then? What's the purpose of your life? You are just like a walking dead. You have no existence to this world. He says the only possible death is to lose belief in this truth. But we see the truth, but we choose to believe in the lies. We know what is right, but we choose to go the wrong way. Where is that leading us to? In this last sentence, Dr. Dubois says, just because time is long. But do you believe time is long? He's saying time is long not because he lived till the age of 95, but because he left a plan, he left a legacy. Even though he's no more, his legacies are still living among us. What he wasn't able to finish, someone is looking up to him to fulfill it. The question here is, what plans, what legacies are we leaving for the younger generation? Are we going to leave what was left for us from our forefathers, which is African, just like our history? We are trying to build something new, something better for them to have a brighter future. So you please try to be a role model, someone will look up to for the betterment of their life. Now, it seems most of the rooms we went, we saw the red, the black, and the green colors. That's the Pan-African flag, of which most of the African countries have at least one, two. Others even have all the three colors in their national flags, and the meanings cut across most of them. The red simplifies the blood our forefathers shed to fight for our rights and our freedom. The black are people, the green are vegetations in our land. Any questions, please? Any contributions? Into the final resting place of Dr. Dubois. of the second wife. She died in China due to breast cancer, but made a request before her death that she wanted her body or ashes to be brought back to Ghana. Because when they came here, they obtained Ghanaian citizenship. They were Ghanaians when they died, wanted to be buried home and next to their husband. So we have it right here. The caps and the flags we have in this room are the schools they attended and the schools he taught. His fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha. We have some pictures of state burials given to him 2 days after his death. Now please lift your head. The roof, what does it look like? The web. So we say Dr. Dubois to be just like a spider, because it's a spider that built its web. It built its web to protect itself, to live in. Dr. Dubois was connecting the world, fighting for our rights and our freedom, for us to have a peaceful place to live. Sometimes you might see the web, but not the spider. But it tells you there was a spider here. Just like Dr. Dubois, anywhere he goes, anywhere he pays a visit, we'll make sure to leave a trace, a legacy, something for remembrance. His last and final message to you today is to tell you, even though your initials doesn't state like a web, you can still be a spider. Not the bad ones that when people see you, don't run, but the good ones that even when they hear of you, they'll get closer. Even if you can't start at last, start. Help by creating a peaceful home and a peaceful country for the younger ones who are coming to have a peaceful place to live. Not to forget to leave a legacy, because something small, a start or a trace at least, can gain the younger ones a brighter future. Any questions so far? Boys like Souls of Black Folks, the Negroes, Talented Things, and others as well. So in case you want to purchase anything, you can kindly please go back in. But if not, then our tour ends here. Thanks for coming, and it's our great pleasure having you here today. Thank you. Thank you.